Hi. So we're going to continue on with 2-point perspective. In the last video, we briefly went over 1-point perspective, drawing a cube in space, both below and above a horizon line or your eye level. The cube is a great structured geometric shape to build other things off of, whether it contains an object or you build a building from it. Cubes are basically the building blocks of perspective. So that's why we use cubes. So in 1-point perspective, we talked a little bit about, you see the full front, and only one set of 3 parallel lines will converge to a central vanishing point, such as in here. In 2-point perspective, it's a little bit different. And one thing to take notice of, if you're out for a walk or you're driving down the street and you're looking at buildings, say this is your road, and you're looking at buildings, if you're kind of close, if they're close to the road and you see them, chances are you're going to see more of one side and then a little bit of the other side that is kind of moving away from you. 2-point perspective kind of happens when things go further away. So it's kind of like this. They move away. And so at 1 point would maybe be more central to your central vanishing point, and then 2-point, it's as things move a little bit off to the side a little bit more. And what happens now is, instead of just one set of those parallel lines in the cube, you have your height, your width, and your depth. Now 2 sets will converge. So you will need 2 vanishing points. So I just marked here a right vanishing point and a left vanishing point, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the central. That's for my 1 point. And the next thing to know is, in 2-point perspective, you start with the leading edge. That leading edge, because these side lines now converge to these vanishing points, this leading edge will definitely always be longer than these side ones, or definitely the back one, which is even smaller. So when you're drawing, say, a chair in perspective, say it's at a 3/4 angle or a 2/3 angle, that front leading edge, you imagine the chair like the top, the legs, this leading leg that is closest to you would be longer than these. Okay, so 2-point perspective, drawing a cube. Instead of drawing the square, the front that you would see, now you're going to draw the leading edge to start. Getting out your ruler, I'm going to keep it still with the 2 inches, just to keep it easier. I'm going to draw that vertical line, making sure it's at a 90-degree angle to my horizon line. We don't want it tilting. So instead of, how we went from all 4 corners to a central vanishing point, now with 2-point perspective, we're going to take the top and the bottom, and respectively, left side will go to a left vanishing point. And then for the right side, and you just draw through. Line it up with your right vanishing point to your bottom. You don't have to draw through. You can draw like, if you know you have it lined up, you can just kind of go that kind of thing. If you want to carry it through, that's fine. Do your bottom and your top. And now I need to find the side. So according to this, it's on the left of my central vanishing point. I'm still standing kind of somewhere over here with my little stick figure, and I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing maybe more of this side than this side. So I can make this pretty close. I don't want to go all the way to 2 inches because it's going to make it too long. So maybe go, I don't know, a little bit in. like I said in the last video, there is a way to get an exact measurement for a cube. I'm not really concerned about that right now. We're gonna get as close as we can though. What kind of looks like a cube. And keep these vertical. Don't be slanting them. Be really aware of how you are drawing. Otherwise they're all gonna be kind of skewed. Okay, so now I have my two side planes that I see. Now I need to get my top plane and my bottom plane. This is where it gets a little tricky for beginners, is they don't know which way to go. Rule of thumb is opposites. So go to your right side, and instead of going to the right, you're going to the left. So top and bottom. Okay, so I have my bottom and top. And to finish it off, I do the same thing. I flip it and I go from my left side to my right vanishing point. In some ways, I think drawing a cube in 2-point is easier than, let's imagine I'm just drawing all the way through, than the 1-point. Because for the back end of 1-point, you have to like really line things up. This kind of does it for you. And all you have to do is ink in what you actually see, just so they're clear. Like I said, you can use different color pens if you want. So as I construct this, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm looking at the top of it because my eye level is above it. If you go above, you see the bottom. Same rule applies for buildings. It would go above and below. All depends on your eye level. When you're looking at something, where does it hit on the height of the building or house or whatever you're constructing? Eye level is very important. Okay, so there's that. Be the same thing doing, even if you're closer, you can still do, closer to your center vanishing point, you can still do 2-point perspectives. So always starting with that leading edge. One good thing to practice in this too is straight lines. You want to practice straight lines, kind of starting here and having a point, and see if you can pull your lines. Just try some freehand stuff, maybe in your sketchbook or something. That's a really good, when they're really long like this, that's not a great idea, but some shorter lengths, having 2 points and pulling a line through is a really great practice. You can also, you can play with longer lengths. You can play with, higher heights, things like that. Imagine I'm just going to keep my cube. As it gets closer, that would be your central. Once you get used to this, once you understand the rules of perspective, which are very simple, you can construct anything 3-dimensionally because the same rules apply every single time. Okay, so I have my bottom corner right here. Draw what you see. A little wiggly here. So if you're drawing anything that could actually fit in a rectangle or a square, this is something to keep in mind. So if you're drawing something, say a cube just regular, or a chair or something, try and figure out where your eye level is and try implementing this to see if you construct it with 1 or 2 point perspective, depending on how you're looking at it. And that's 2 point perspective, the foundation of it.